The X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, Relmar McConnell Media Company, the X Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Talkstar Radio Network, Mutual Broadcast Network, Simul Radio, Simul TV, and iHeartRadio. If you'd like to send me an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And for all the programming we have available for you 24/7, 365, www.xzbn.net. You know, our last guest was in St. John's, Newfoundland, and now we're going to the middle of the Pacific, to the islands that my wife adores. And of course, we're talking about Hawaii. Our guest this hour is Lopaka Kapanui, I believe. And he is the gentleman responsible for Mysteries of Hawai'i, Oahu's original ghost tour, and chicken skin tours, including storytelling lectures, historical tours, and private tours. And their website is www.mysteries-of-hawaii.com. And Lopaka, welcome to the X Zone. I believe the greeting is aloha?
Indeed, aloha. It's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in the paranormal, things that go bump in the night, ghosts, and of course we're going to have to talk about chicken skin tours.
Right. I'll give you the abridged version.
Okay.
When I was 6 years old, I was having my kidneys cleaned out, had some problems, and while I was in the children's hospital, one of our friends in our ward of the hospital snuck in some Coca-Cola, and Coca-Cola back then was very different from the way it is today.
Yes.
And we each took a sip, and I ended up having to go to the emergency room to have an operation. And during that operation, I died on the table.
Yes.
And during that time, I remember my grandmother, one of our friends in our ward who died while we were staying there, and a voice petitioning as to whether I should live or die. And of course, I lived. And since then, I've been able to see and hear things. So fast forward to 1994, and I'm on a ghost tour in downtown Honolulu. It's being conducted by a professor of American history at the University of Hawaii. His name is Glenn Grant, and he's essentially the godfather of ghost tours in Hawaii, and he ended up becoming my mentor. And after he passed away, the business, which was called Chicken Skin, which means goosebumps, basically fell onto my lap, and that's how it happened.
Now, when you say you see and hear things, can you tell us what you hear and what you see?
Depending upon the situation and the kind of people I'm surrounded with, I, for instance, will be doing a ghost tour in a Chinese cemetery outside of Honolulu, and a woman's voice will whisper in my last ear the name Valerie, and I'll stop what I'm talking about, and I'll ask the group, anybody here named Valerie? A young Hawaiian girl raises her hand. She says, "That's me." And then the voice whispers in my left ear, "Animals." And so I ask Valerie, "Do you have anything to do with animals?" And it turns out she's a veterinarian.
Wow.
And it turns out not more than 10 feet away from where we are standing is where her aunt is buried, who committed suicide. And Valerie never had a chance to talk to her before that, or even had a chance to say goodbye. So it's things like that.
So thanks to you, was she able to say goodbye to her aunt that day?
She called me later that week, and she was able to reconcile by finally going to visit her aunt's grave, which she had never visited until she was on that tour. She didn't say anything about it either.
Really?
We find out after the fact.
Let me ask you this, my friend. How haunted is Hawaii?
It's very active, very haunted. There's nowhere you can go in any of the islands here where you are not stepping on someone's burial.
My goodness.
Yeah.
In the news lately, Hawaii has been talked about, and all our prayers have been with our friends in Hawaii because of the volcanic action. Has that affected you and your family in any way?
We don't live on the island where the volcano is, but
Right.
the fog and the winds have sort of brought that up and down the archipelago. So people with asthma and stuff like that, they're
Right.
suffering. But spiritually, Hawaiian people realize that this is the work of the goddess Pele, the goddess of the volcano, and Hawaiians are okay with it. If she's going to take your home, she can take it. It's her land. She was here
Sure.
first. Yeah.
Well, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone there in Hawaii who might be affected by this.
Yes.
I have to ask you, reading the information that you were kind enough to send us, what are night marchers?
Night marchers are the ghosts of warriors who in life
Mm-hmm.
were persons who preceded a chief that was so sacred and so high ranking in life that when that person was passing, according to their status, you as a commoner had to lie face down, no clothes on, hands clasped behind the back of your head, and you could not look. And so even if the sun cast their shadow on your body, you'd be killed on the spot. And it was a hard life for these high-ranking chiefs, because even when they had to go to the bathroom,
Mm-hmm.
Their bodily functions, the result of it, had to be put in a wooden bowl and canoed all the way out to the horizon and dumped or burned. And so that's why these sacred chiefs only came out at night, but they were preceded by a long procession of warriors with torchlights, and people could see them and know that they were coming and get out of the way. And so now it's the same thing in the afterlife. And yeah.
Go ahead, Lopaka.
Well, people think it's an urban legend, but there's just too much documentation to prove otherwise. And even today, there are night marcher processions that come down Bishop Street in downtown Honolulu
Mm-hmm.
through the 22nd floor office of a law firm.
My goodness, what is the sociological and historical the cultural history of Hawaii?
It's one of those things where it depends on who you ask.
I'm
And so
asking you, my friend.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's the same thing with me. I've always been told the same thing by my
Right.
mom. The people on the island of Molokai, for one, believe that they were the first Hawaiian people here before the mass migration from South Polynesia about the 10th or 11th century. And that's because the people of Molokai strongly believe until today that they are the survivors of the Pacific landmass called Lemuria.
Right.
And that when Lemuria sank into the ocean, the people on Molokai were the ones who survived. And so their account, their genealogical history says that they were a race of people called the Mu people, and that's a letter MU with a background over the U,
Right.
short for Lemuria. And that these people did not have leaders or chiefs. There were community leaders, and they prayed to the east in the morning when the sun rose, and they believed in the harmony of man and his environment and the law of cause and effect. So it's almost like they were Buddhists way back then. And they said when the Pacific migration came from as far as the Marquesa, Samoa, Tonga, Tahiti, that these people were the ones who introduced the chiefly class system, the practice of human sacrifice, and that they went throughout the island chain and and killed people, skinned them alive. But for some reason, when they came to the island of Molokai, they could not conquer it because we have a saying here called Molokai Pule O'o, which means Molokai of the ripening prayers. And the island of Molokai is filled with what we call kahuna, learned men of different crafts, but also kahuna who are skilled at praying people to death. And that practice still exists today. And so when the invaders came, it is said the entire island of Molokai went to the beach and began to pray. And these Tahitian warriors began to fall over dead on the canoe. The ocean boiled, and they left that island alone. And so that's one account from those people.
Wow. You and I have to take our first break, so please stand by, Lopaka. We're talking to Lopaka Kapanui from Mysteries of Hawai'i, Oahu's original ghost tours and chicken skin tours, including storytelling lectures, historical tours, and private tours. His website is www.mysteries-of-hawaii.com, and we'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center and studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget, X Zone Nation, you can get your complimentary copy of the June-July edition of the X Chronicles newspaper simply by going to www.xchroniclesnewspaper.com. 92 full-page colored pages there for you. Each page is 11 by 17 full newspaper-sized copies. Or you can go to Amazon and purchase the paperback of the newspaper. In fact, a lot of the newspapers that we have done since 1990 are available at Amazon.com. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone radio show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone broadcast network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV. Plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X-Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
We live in rapidly shifting times of extreme volatility and uncertainty. Such profound change brings a unique opportunity for the evolution of consciousness. I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, host of Mission Evolution Radio Show, a program that explores the latest scientific developments and deepening spiritual truths supporting human evolution. Join me on xzbn.net, where I interview leading experts in science, physics, medicine, spirituality, and more. By applying divergent viewpoints to leading-edge topics, we uncover expansive and evolutionary truth to assist you on your path to enlightenment. More information and past episodes are available at missionevolution.org.
We're talking about Mysteries of Hawai'i, Oahu's original ghost tours and chicken skin tours, including storytelling, lectures, historical tours, and private tours. Our guest this hour is Lopaka Kapanui, and his website is www.mysteries-of-hawaii.com. Lopaka, are Hawaiians afraid of ghosts?
No, not really. Because a lot of times when a Hawaiian person saw a ghost, it was usually a member of their own family. So there was no fear of it, really.
Tell us about your tours and where do you go? What do you see? Are the people who go on your tours mostly tourists or Native Hawaiians?
We get a good combination of both, and the tourists that we do get are the ones that are coming here to see or seek more than just, the luau show,
Yeah.
the Tahitian dancers. And we go to a lot of places that are known to be haunted. One of our regular tours in downtown Honolulu includes the only palace in the United States and the oldest graveyard in that district. And I also do customized tours, so if people only want to go to certain places and see certain things, we can do that. The only thing I won't do is murders where, the family of the victim is still alive.
Oh, of course. Very respectful.
But I did have a strange request about 4 years ago, the weekend of Valentine's. A woman had a dating service that she owned. It was still happening back then. And she had put 15 couples together, and she thought it would be a good idea for Valentine's if I could take them to places where there are double murder suicides.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah. That tour only lasted for about 44 minutes because the poor guys on the tour started to realize that, number one, these cases are documented. Number two, they have supernatural results.
Yeah.
And three, the majority of the cases are about women who killed their boyfriends and husbands.
Ooh, not a good idea on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it did not last long.
I guess not. I would imagine that the majority of our listeners know about the attack on Pearl Harbor and the number of lives that were lost in Pearl Harbor. I don't know if this is a macabre question or what, but is Pearl Harbor haunted by those who lost their lives?
It's not only haunted by those who lost their lives in that unfortunate event, but Pearl Harbor itself was also a sacred place for Hawaiians.
Really?
And so the combination of both energies, I think, is what makes it so active. And it's funny you mentioned that. The MWR at Pearl Harbor back in 2010 asked me if I would consider doing a ghost tour on base, and I told them I thought it was not a respectful thing to do.
Fascinating.
Realizing what happened there.
Yes.
And it turned out to be a good idea, actually.
What are menehune? Menehune? Am I saying that right?
Oh, yeah. Menehune.
Right.
There are fabled little people, but
Right.
the thing is, they don't look the way little people look like today, how we know them. They're actually fully formed human beings. They're about 3 to 4 feet tall. And they've had the ability since ancient times to build great structures in one night. And if you come upon them, they'll abandon the structure completely. The work won't get done. And it seems like a really interesting fable in our culture, but there are actually families today who are descended of menehune.
Are there any structures in Hawaii that the menehune have actually built?
Yes, I believe there's a structure on the island of Maui,
Mm-hmm.
and there's also one on the island of Kauai. There's actually 3. Menehune Fish Pond,
Right.
a massive fish pond that was built in one night, and another one called Menehune Ditch on the west side of the island. And the way the rocks were cut and how closely they've been stacked together that you can't even get air through it
My goodness.
really talks about the skill of these people.
When was the last time Menehune were actually seen, or something that they created was attributed to them?
This was 2016.
My goodness, only 2 years ago.
2 years ago. There's this sprawling suburban neighborhood called Ocean Point toward the west side of Oahu. And of course, developers don't care, and cultural practitioners were trying to tell them you're building this place on an old fishing village where those ancient people used to feed the Menehune certain types of fish and a certain type of banana, but nobody listened. And so once Ocean Point was developed, I'd get calls every few months about strange things happening in people's houses, little footprints, on the wall, on the ceiling. And so I had to go there and explain to people, your house is not really haunted. It's built on a Menehune path. And I said that the best you can do is leave out a certain type of banana and a certain type of redfish, and you should be okay. But blessing or cleansing really isn't going to help.
So do you think that the Menehune are related to the leprechauns of Ireland?
No, it's a completely different race of supernatural beings. And again, going back to the island of Molokai, those people were believed to also be descended of the Menehune.
I believe we touched very briefly on Pele. Can you tell us
Pele.
Pele? Can you tell us
Yeah.
who Pele is?
So Pele in life, again, the abridged version,
Yep.
had to escape her home in Tahiti because she was learning how to stoke fires and burn down her older sister's side of the island just to a singe, and was also sort of seeing her sister's husband on the side, so she had to escape with her life. The goddess of the ocean was her oldest sister. She made it to the archipelago, tried to make volcanoes going down the island chain, and it kept getting peeled out by her sister, the goddess of the ocean, until finally they stopped at Maui and had this battle where Pele actually lost her life. And there's a place in Hana Maui called Ka'iwi o Pele, or the Bones of Pele, which is the site where this battle happened. And it was said that Pele's family took her bones, went to the Big Island, and did a ceremony called Unihi Pili, in which they deified her to become this goddess of the fire. And that's who she is today.
Do tourists like to try and take volcanic rocks, or is this kind of a bit of a taboo?
The thing is, you can actually come to Hawaii, you can go to the volcano, and you can take the lava rocks. All you have to do is ask permission. But for some reason, when tourists come here, they find it ridiculous to ask permission of something that's not tangible. And so they take it anyway. And that's when the Volcanoes National Park gets a box with the same rocks delivered to them with a note that says, please take this back. Terrible things have happened to us since we've taken it.
Really? Oh my goodness! And who is responsible for all the negativity or the horrible things that happens? And justifiably, because when you take something without permission, in my books, you're fair game for whatever happens to you. But who's responsible for all the strange things that happens?
It's hard to say. It's either a psychosomatic thing with the people who took it, and one little thing goes out of whack, and automatically it's, oh my God, we took the lava rocks from the volcano goddess, and everything's going wrong.
Wow.
Or it could be Pele herself, because they believe the volcano or the volcanic rock is what we call the Kino Lau, or the spiritual embodiment of Pele.
How many different gods and goddesses are there in the Hawaiian culture?
In our pantheon of gods, the primary ones are male gods. So the four principal gods are Ku, Kane, Lono, and Kanaloa. And then there's protective deities called Aumakua, family guardians. And then there's the Kupua, the shapeshifters. Right. And then there's what we poetically call the 4, the 40, the 400, the 4,000, the 400,000.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a group. In your opinion, based on the research that you've done over the years, the number of tourists that you've taken around on your tours, who is the most famous ghost of Hawaii?
Well, the funny thing about that question is everyone automatically assumes that it's either Pele or the Night Marchers, but it's actually a Japanese ghost.
A Japanese ghost?
Yes. They've made the mistake of calling it the Mujina, but it's actually in Japan what they call no perabo, or a person with no face. And so Bob Krause writes an article in 1958, 59 about an old drive-in theater outside of Honolulu, and it's a double feature: Love Slaves of the Amazon, Monolith Monsters. And the article says a young girl goes to use the bathroom, and when she's coming out of the bathroom and she's brushing her hair,
right,
she tells the news reporter that there's a Japanese woman in a white kimono standing there brushing her long black hair in front of her face. And suddenly the woman stands up and pulls the hair away from her face, and she has no face.
All right, hold on. We've got to take our break. Please stand by. Exo Nation, our guest this hour, is all the way from Hawaii. Lopaka is his name, and we're talking about his Mysteries of Hawai'i, Oahu's original ghost tours and chicken skin tours, including storytelling lectures, historical tours, and private tours. His website is www.mysteries-of-Hawaii. That's mysteries-of-Hawaii.com. And we'll be back on the other side as we continue talking about paradise and ghosts here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
From our broadcast studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, to the world and beyond, you're watching the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net.
AVS Media Den.
You have heard of the X Zone? Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, sci-fi, and horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world, interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365. Rob McConnell here, presenting an overview for Nicholas Paul Jennings, author of a fascinating book, Amen. It presents facts revealed by Egyptologists, facts that enable us to understand why Amen is the beginning of creation of God. It provides recommendations for religious leaders of the major religions to unify their beliefs and teach the Word of God. Love one another. Amen informs people how mankind conceived God. It was the Egyptians that developed the concepts of a soul,
a hereafter, and Son of God. And finally, after the worship of many gods, they conceived the belief in one universal God, the maker of all there is. For more information, visit www.futureofgodamen.com. That's www.futureofgodamen.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Our guest is Lopaka Kapanui. We're talking about his Mysteries of Hawai'i tours. I must tell you that this is very interesting. And I would imagine that there are people who come to Hawaii who are surprised that there is so much ghost history, paranormal history in Paradise.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that they are either surprised by it, or it happens to them.
Wait a sec here. It happens to them while they're in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Oh boy. What happens? Tell me some things, because we're going to be in Hawaii in September. So I want to be prepared.
Oh, on the island of Maui?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you'll love Maui. I love Maui. There was a friend of mine who works at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. It's the only pink hotel in Waikiki.
Right.
And she's what they call the chief concierge. And she said there was a doctor and his wife who were there for about 3 weeks. And she said she really loved them. They were great people.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a great time. They were going on and on about how wonderful the Hawaiian people were. The locals were nice.
Yeah.
And it was just completely different from where they came from. And they were checking out that morning. And so concierge asked the doctor, so everything worked out? He says, everything is fabulous. I can't wait to come back. He said, except for last night. He says, I was asleep. The digital alarm clock went off. He said, I kind of looked over to the nightstand and it said 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
3 And he says, all of a sudden, the curtains start to billow from outside the lanai. And this Hawaiian girl walks into their room.
Ooh.
And she's dressed in sort of looks like a nurse's uniform, except she doesn't have the small little hat. She's got a big ribbon on the back of her head. The doctor said, I went to sit up, and he said something was holding me down.
His wife.
Right. And he said he could only move his eyes. And so he sort of moved his eyes to where his wife was sleeping, and she was dead to the world.
All right. Scratch wife.
Right. And he says the Hawaiian girl walks over to the wife's side of the bed and just stands there for a minute, just looking at her, and then looks up at the doctor and nods her head and just walks out. The doctor said after that, I could sit up. And I went out to the lanai, the girl was gone. The concierge tells the doctor, well, that's really strange. And he says, why? And the concierge says, the only time that girl's ghost appears in that room is when there's kids, but you haven't checked in with any children. Come to find out, the wife is 4 months pregnant.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. So if I see a ghost of a woman in Hawaii, watch out. Okay. What should we know about the Hawaiian culture before we visit Hawaii?
I would say first and foremost is just respect for the culture and its people, not just Hawaiian culture, but local culture in general.
Yeah.
And number two, just be yourself. Just be you, and you'll be fine.
All right, I'm sure you get this question a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is Elvis really alive in Hawaii?
The funny thing is, a few years after Elvis passed away, and you remember there were that rash of Elvis sightings all over the place.
Yeah.
People in Hawaii began to say that they would see him pumping gas at a gas station in Kailua, which is on the windward side of the island. Which, if you know Elvis, would make sense because it's a more affluent area of Oahu. But the Kailua side of the island, those beaches, is where Elvis had a beach house.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, where he would stay a lot, and people didn't know about that until some of his home movie footage was released on YouTube. And the great thing about the people in Hawaii is that they knew he was here and they didn't say anything about it. They didn't bother him. And that's why celebrities like it here so much, is because we know who you are, we know you're famous, but we leave you alone. We give you your space.
You're respectful.
Yeah. And so the fact that rumors began to surface that he was pumping gas at a gas station on that side of the island kind of made sense.
Let me ask you this, Lopaka. Do you find that a lot of the new, younger, aggressive paranormal researchers that are coming out of the woodwork are more disrespectful towards those who have passed than the old guys like you and I?
I think it's because it's based on what they see on TV.
Right.
And what they see other paranormal investigators doing on TV, which is, provoking, daring, and essentially, being arrogant and not being nice to the team that they work with. I think that's what it is.
Speaking about TV, have any television shows been haunted while filming in Hawaii?
Well, I don't know if you remember this TV series. It's probably before your time. It was called Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, hey, come on. Hogan's Heroes? My goodness. Schultz? Loved it.
So I think this was after the Hogan's Heroes thing, but Bob Crane was here.
Yep.
Shooting a special that was going to premiere on ABC called Haunted Hawaii.
Right.
And the premise was that, you were going to see night marchers, you were going to see the goddess Pele, you were going to see what we call akualele, flying orbs of fire, and other types of ghosts. And when the show premiered, it was a bust. It was a ratings flop because nothing happened. They didn't capture anything. But we find out later from people who worked on that production who are still around today, that when Bob Crane and some of his friends were at a place called Wahaula Heiau, the Red Mouth Temple, one of the more powerful temples of human sacrifice, while they were filming there, the crew saw that Bob Crane and his friends were being disrespectful to the culture, being silly.
Oh, no.
And so what they did is they went right up to the wall of the ancient sacred temple, and they did number one.
No.
Yes. And then the following day, when they're up at the volcano filming the segment about Pele, and they saw how, the locals on the crew, not just the Hawaiians, but the locals were bringing tea leaves and Hawaiian salt as offerings. They thought it was so ridiculous that Bob Crane and his friends, in full view of the goddess Pele, dropped their pants and did number two.
That is shocking and totally disgusting.
It is. And of course, as we know, the show just tanks, and Bob Crane turns up dead a few days later.
My goodness. No, that is totally disrespectful. And, wow, I don't know what to say about that. I really don't. I can't believe that anyone would be that disrespectful. Well,
if Jennifer Lawrence was disrespectful enough to sit on the rock of an ancient temple,
yeah.
Who knows what else?
What has been the most hair-raising, or what has been the event while you've been doing ghost tours or lectures that have caused you to have chicken skin?
There was a night when we were going up this old abandoned road. It's called Morgan's Corner. And there are about 40 some odd people on the tour. And as I said before, when the night marchers are approaching, because you're supposed to see the torch lights or hear the conch shells or the drums. None of that happened. We were walking up this road, and all of a sudden there was this smell of sulfur. And the smell was so thick, people started to gag, and the procession was coming down the road. And so I'm responsible for 40 people. So I had to get them out of there, in an orderly manner as much as possible, without them hurting themselves. And I had to be the last person in line. I had to be the last one to get on the bus.
Right.
And so not only was I afraid of the ghosts of the night marchers coming, but I was in in fear of these people getting hurt. That's the last thing I wanted. And I wasn't worried about liability or insurance, because my primary concern for people on these tours are the people.
Right.
The ghosts and spirits I can deal with. And so that was a double goosebump thing, in fear of something spiritual and then something physical.
Was the sulfur smell from a volcanic activity?
No. One of the things they say is you'll know when the night marchers are coming. If you've missed all the signals, you'll smell sulfur.
How did you feel when you sat back and looked over the entire evening and you had missed the cues, but the sulfur was the final, if you'll excuse the expression, the final straw?
My initial feeling was, what the hell am I doing? Why did I agree to do this?
And your reply to yourself was?
It's what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice in the matter, really.
All right, Lopaka, please stand by. You and I have to take our final break for this segment. Exonation. Lopaka Kapanui is our special guest. www.mysteries-of-Hawaii.com, and we'll both be back on the other side of this break as we wrap up this hour here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't forget, Exonation, you can find out about all the programming we have available for you 24/7, 365 on the X Zone Broadcast Network at www.xzbn.net, and the June-July edition of the X Chronicles newspaper is available for you online with our compliments at www.xchroniclesnewspaper.com. I'm Rob McConnell. This is the X Zone. Don't go away.
Now watch it on Simul TV, plus 500 video games, live TV channels, free video on demand, worldwide, and more. Does this sound like tomorrow's television? Well, it is, but you can have it today, right now. It is Simul TV. Simul TV offers what the others only wish they could provide. 15 exclusive channels like X Zone, Sci-Fi, and Horror. We are worldwide. No other provider offers that. 500 built-in video games. No need to have an extra expensive system. We have them included. Free video on demand. Live streaming events from around the world. Interactive online network, and much more. Tomorrow's TV today. Simul TV. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. You can have Simul TV today. Sign up at simultv.com. Do it today.
The new nonfiction book, Razor of Madness, is similar to cult movies like Clockwork Orange, Dragon's Tattoo, or The Other Side of Hell. Wayne Morin Jr. and Thomas Lee Howell will expose widespread and systematic deficiencies in this thought-provoking tell-all novel. Mind control rages among scholars in law schools. Human rights are ignored while thought reform and mental manipulation are accepted practices used as behavior modification. Dr. Louis Jolyon West comes to mind. Media and public scrutiny shows that United States mental hospitals are in fact destructive murder industries. Razor of Madness expose novel details this epidemic through an in-depth professional and personal investigation. For decades, there has been a revolving door policy that still releases killers and pedophiles back into society. The maestro of mind control continues to haunt America to this very day. Razor of Madness is available in paperback or as a downloadable ebook at Amazon.com.
The concept of a new age has been around since the late 19th century, yet much of its original meaning has been lost. What exactly is the new age? Is it a religion, a collection of obscure esoteric practices, a series of doomsday predictions, or an astrological event? The New Age Chronicles is a unique complementary publication bringing reason and grounded information to separate fact from fiction. Chock full of valuable information to support you as we make the monumental shift into the new era. You won't want to miss a single innovative issue. The New Age Chronicles newspaper is coming soon to www.newagechronicles.com.
Exonation, our guest this hour is Lopaka Kapanui. He is the gentleman behind Lopaka Kapanui's Mysteries of Hawai'i, Oahu's original ghost tour and chicken skin tour, including storytelling, lectures, historical tours, and private tours. His website is www.mysteries-of-hawaii.com. First of all, Lopaka, I want to thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great pleasure talking to you, and thank you for sharing with us the very rich and colorful history of Hawaii that we could actually talk about in this short period of time. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
During the commercial break, you and I were chatting, and you've got a paranormal event, conference coming up in Hawaii. Can you share that with us?
Yes, July 13th, 14th, and 15th, we're hosting the very first paranormal convention in the islands. It's called HawaiiParacon.com. And we are featuring a couple of friends from the continental United States, but mainly the Hawaiian and ethnic approach to how we view the supernatural and the paranormal.
Let me ask you, how does the way that you, compared to the people on the mainland, view the paranormal?
For us, and you asked me that question earlier, is because a lot of times when we see ghosts, it's a family member. Can I ask you how tall you are?
How tall I am? I'm 6'5".
So if you're 6'5" and you're our community leader in ancient Hawaii, and you pass away, we're not going to bury your body in a graveyard, go see you once a year. You have status in the community, in our family, so we're going to honor you by burying you in the underground oven until the steams. The fires or the steams, steams the flesh off your bones, sorry.
Right.
And we're going to keep your bones. And through certain prayers and objects and ceremonies and weather conditions and rituals, we're going to deify you into a protective guardian of our family. And so if our guardian is the shark,
yes,
we will take your bones in the bundle and leave it underneath a shark that we know. And there's some markings on it. And in a little while, a new shark appears with the markings, and we know it's you.
Wow!
And you can also appear to us as a ghost because we know it's you.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. Why did you ask me how tall I was?
Because the taller the person is, the longer the bones are, the more mana, the more spiritual power in the bones, which is why bones are so important to us.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. And so it's because of that practice. It's what makes us different, and we approach this spiritual world more with a sense of reverence, because literally in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with nowhere else to find anything, Hawaiians literally had to depend upon their environment for their survival,
right.
Not only physically but spiritually. So we had to be at one with everything.
It would almost seem as if those who are still alive walk very close to those who have passed.
Absolutely. The veil is very,
yes.
very thin.
Earlier you were talking about flying orbs of fire. Can you tell us more about those?
Well, if there's somebody you have a particular dislike for, and you want to put a very potent curse on them,
right?
There are certain sort of items that you would have to take from that person you hate and bring it to someone like myself, who is a kind of kahuna.
Right.
But if I was a kahuna who could pray people to die, then I could take those things you brought to me from your enemy,
right,
and make them into an orb of flames and send it back to them to kill them.
My goodness. It almost sounds as if it's a little bit like voodoo.
They're funny you say that. There's a lot of similarities there.
Really?
There's a lot. Yeah. And people have asked me about taking curses off. And I have to say the worst curse that could be put on you is from someone from your own family. because that person knows you really well. Those curses take maybe about 2 to 5 years to get rid of. Yeah.
Would it have to be put on the person by a kahuna who would actually do that to harm somebody else?
We still have a few people left who still don't do those kinds of things. Yeah.
You know, when I hear kahuna, I think about some of the Hawaiian musicals that were made with the great kahuna and so on. So the great kahuna is actually someone of reverence, like a shaman?
Not really a shaman, and that movie Bird of Paradise, right?
Yes.
That's what started it. We have kahuna who are skilled at praying people to death, but basically there's someone who has mastered a lifelong craft. So we have a kahunas of hula,
Right.
of ethnobotany, of stargazing, astronomy, spiritual geography, different types of skill sets that kahuna have mastered. Unfortunately, the one who puts curses on people is the one that Hollywood introduced to the world, and so that became what we're known for.
Speaking about Hollywood, in your opinion, what is the biggest misconception that tourists from the mainland and other parts of the world have about Hawaii?
And I'll say this truthfully, that we still live in grass huts.
Really?
And that we use coconuts and shells for money. And they're stupefied to find out that we actually have running water and electricity.
Obviously, they have never seen pictures of Hawaii and Waikiki Beach and downtown Honolulu, because if they did that, they'd certainly know that is anything furthest from the truth. I think that a number of Americans get their information about Hawaii from Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not too popular here with the locals.
I've got to tell you something. He's not very popular up here with anyone who has a true taste for television and law enforcement. I'm an ex-cop.
Okay.
And I used to watch that, and I say, oh, he should be behind bars.
Yeah, wasn't he a felon?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Yeah, he was a felon, and his wife looks like she should be hanging around a brass pole in a seedy place somewhere. But
well, I have to tell you, my best ghost stories and my best information are all from law enforcement here in Hawaii.
I'll bet you there's a lot of people who really believe Hawaii 5-0 is your state police force.
They do, and they actually ask, where's the police department? Yeah.
Buck 'em, Dano.
Yeah.
Like I said before, it's a great pleasure talking to you, and we're going to make arrangements to have you come on closer to your paranormal conference and get the word out there for you. What are your final thoughts that you'd like to share with the X-Zone Nation tonight? Tell about Hawaii, about your culture, and whatever you'd like to say. You've got about 2 minutes.
The one thing I tell this group that I'm working with, there are people who are born with psychic abilities or just suddenly had them, and they've been shunned by their family. One girl had her mother want to do exorcisms on her. Others have resorted to substance abuse, and they get into the paranormal thing, and they're dependent on all these, the equipment. But what I tell them is, the real ghost radar, the real recorder, the real camera thing, that's you.
Right.
You are those things, and you have to have more confidence and more faith in your own abilities to do things and make yourself successful. And so it all starts from you. We're so dependent on exterior happiness and exterior things to fulfill us, but we already have it. It's within us.
Do you have? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So here in Hawaii, I believe we have those things to help people with, to give it to them. And a lot of times when tourists come on my tour, and a lot of them are filthy rich, and they tell me they've got all this money, all this success, but their life feels empty.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's because the success that they need is staring them in the mirror.
That's right. And you know, it's unfortunate in today's world with all the electronic gadgetry that we have that we really don't understand that it's the person in the mirror who can make us happy, and that happiness is from the inside out, not from the outside in.
Absolutely. And you can't make anybody else in your life happy unless you're happy first.
That's
You
right.
have to be the pebble in the pond.
Yeah. Do you have any psychic messages for me?
You're going to come to Maui, and you're going to visit a place called Lahaina. And you're going to meet a man by the name of George. And he's going to change your view on not only things culturally, but the way you perceive the world.
I intend on going to Maui and also visiting a man by the name of Lopaka, who I made a friend with today. Lopaka, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Continued success. Keep the great work up. And in my books, you, sir, are the great kahuna.
Thank you, sir. And if you're in my neck of the woods and you have an appetite, your wife and yourself are welcome to my house for dinner.
Bless you, my friend. Thank you so much for your generosity, your kind words, and for sharing the amount of great knowledge and cultural enrichment that you did with us tonight. Take care of yourself, my friend.
Mahalo. Thank you.
Bye-bye now. Exo Nation, our guest this hour has been Lopaka Kapanui. He is the gentleman behind Lopaka Kapanui's Mysteries of Hawai'i, Oahu, original ghost walk tours, and chicken skin tours, including storytelling, lectures, historical tours, and private tours. His website is www.mysteries-of-hawaii.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Rob McConnell. Don't go away.
Modern Esoteric, Beyond Our Senses by Brad Olson, consummates the lifeology story about where humanity originates. It is the lost continents, the primitive wisdom, the mythos of creation, and the rethinking of ancient history as we are taught in academia. There is much more to the story than what we have been told. As this is the first book in the Esoteric series, Modern Esoteric starts at the beginning of time and accelerates up to this modern age. Future Esoteric is book 2 in the series and takes a forward-looking position ahead of today with an open and honest examination of the ET issue and various unexplained phenomena. To discover the writings of author Brad Olson, visit www.bradolson.com. That's www.bradolson.com. Are you or is someone you know struggling with addictions, depression, anxiety, relationships, low self-esteem, lack of confidence, grief, success, and prosperity? Do you know that your subconscious belief plays a big role in the outcome of your hard work? We can help you permanently change the beliefs that may be the reason for your struggles and failures. We care about getting you the return on your investment and the results you are looking for. We can help you be free of the limitations of your past and in realizing your highest potential. We work with people by phone and Skype. For more information, visit us at www.ritasoman.com. That's www.ritasoman.com. Do you think you have energy problems in your home? Do you feel better when you're away than when you're home? Joey Korn is a global leader in the world of dowsing who specializes in personal energy clearing and space clearing. He can help you create an ideal energy environment in your home no matter where you live in the world. Learn about his remote spiritual house cleaning services and much more at www.dowsers.com. You can get Joey's book, Dowsing, A Path to Enlightenment, as well as other dowsing books and tools, Kabbalah books, and Walter Russell books. Joey's work is really amazing. Go to dowsers.com right now. That's DOWSERS.com, or call 1-877-DOWSING. That's 1-877-369-7464.